What is up, everyone? Good Monday evening to you. God, it's almost like we're live every single night of the week. Good Monday evening to you all. This is The Last of Us, episode 3 breakdown. And with me once again is Bigot Sandwich Connoisseur, John Gets Gaming. You know, they're trying to redeem, Druckmann's trying to redeem Seth the Bigot in the show. Will it work with the shills? Probably not.
Oh,
I
they're
don't
going to be
know.
conflicted.
Yeah, it's going to be weird because, there's going to be the segment that, they're not going to forgive him no matter what because, saying dyke is like one of the worst crimes you could possibly commit. But then there's the others who are like, well, Druckmann wants me to like him now, so I'm going to like him now, right?
Yeah,
so
they
you got
pretty much
those ones as well. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see how they respond to all this shit.
I think they're mostly going to do as they're told. So Druckmann said after the episode that, oh, people are complicated and he's not all hateful. It's like, oh, and he does love Ellie. And they'll be like, even though they didn't believe him last week, they'll be like, oh, I believe him now.
Yeah, did he say that? Yeah, we're going to go over
Yeah.
the inside the episode. Always a fun little bit to get into with regards to this fucking show. But anyway, so John, what did you think of the episode overall? I put it in the title, my basic thoughts. No Joel, big problem. Ellie, Bella Ramsey, and her acting definitely cannot carry this show. This was probably, I would say that this was probably the worst of the 3 episodes overall. Like, it didn't annoy me, or it didn't have really anything bad or annoying in it like the first 2 episodes, but I just think that structurally, with regards to like what's going on and why I should care and everything, I think that this was probably the worst episode of the 3. Definitely the most boring.
Yeah, it's I don't even want to say filler because it's like things are happening, but it's at a point where it's like it's kind of what happened in the game, which is they have the big action-packed beginning, shocking beginning where they kill Joel, and then it's like 20 hours of wandering around Seattle with Dina, and that's kind of what happened with the game where it's like, or what's happened with the show where it's like now Pedro's dead. I guess we'll kind of like have a whole episode of just recovering in the hospital, BSing with characters that we don't really care about.
I think Druckmann just didn't know how to write that scene, didn't know what to do, what to say, so he just skipped over it with regards to like Ellie and the grieving. Ellie was like over her grieving process, 5 minutes into the episode for the most part. Like, yeah, she was still upset. Yeah, she's basically Abby now, who Abby was at the beginning of this season. Ellie is Abby now, seeking revenge and everything. Abby was not in this episode at all.
Nope.
No infected in this episode at all either. 0 infected. One of the things I was hearing from the diehard fans of the series is like, oh, they listen to the fans. They're putting infected in the episodes now. It does feel like the apocalypse. Not so much really in this episode, like a little bit, but 0 infected in the episode.
They blew their budget on that giant fight last time. I don't think we'll probably get 2 or 3 more of those maybe, but I don't know.
I just like this kind of like stuck out to me whenever Ellie and Dina were just like trapped. So they make it to Seattle at the end of the episode. Now you played the game. Did some things happen to them along the way to Seattle in the game, or did they just montage and they were there?
They mostly skip over. I think there's like a couple scenes where you're like talking with Dina as you're on the outskirts, but they make it like, for as much as the first game is about going from Boston to Colorado, I think, or no, Salt Lake City possibly. But anyways, that across country travel, even with a survivor like Joel, was very eventful, and a lot of things were happening. In this, they're going from Wyoming to Seattle, and apparently nothing happens. It's true in the game and the show.
No, they camped out together and they talked about their kiss, which was definitely the worst scene of the entire episode. Definitely the worst scene of the entire episode, man. It was pretty bad. This was a chore to get through. I had to watch this one. This was the first episode I watched at 1.5 speed. I had to turn it up about halfway through, and I was like, "Oh, Jesus Christ! This is like a chore." It wasn't Andor slow. I'll give them that, but it was definitely on the slow side.
I'm gonna make a show prediction right now because Dina says you're gay, I'm not. And especially Roxy's going to go, girl, yes, you are. Or something similar. They're all going to be like, no, Dina, you're gay. Admit it.
Unbelievable. Anyway, what is up, everyone in the chat? What's up, Red Jaguar? What's up, Darth Angel? Glitchman, what's up? Hope the new job's going well, my dude. Lime Man's in the chat. Randy the Ram, random videos. What's up, sir? Amadeus Agrippino. Did I say that right? Yeah, I did. No, Agrippino. Tony chases cat, objectively a cat. Hunter, what's going on, everyone in the chat? What's up, Jake? How you doing?
Let's go.
Yeah, we're gonna get into this. We're gonna get into this here pretty quickly for you guys. Real quick before we get started. Thank you, SWA, for $10. No Pedro Joel. Hell yes. Bella Ramsey. Hail Abby Nation. No, ain't watching. Just no. I mean, hail for $2. I mean, hail Dina Nation.
Well, they're both better than Ellie. I'll be honest at this point.
I'll tell you, Dina isn't terrible, at least to look at. I can usually pay a little more attention when she's like on the screen just for the sole purpose of looking at her. I feel so bad for the actress. I mean, I'm sure the actress is probably like a professional, is going to handle it well, but deep down, they're like, oh my God, why are you making me like do this romance shit with this?
To kiss this potato.
With this potato plank of wood with a potato on top. Oh, like the memes with Ellie. Did you see the Buzz Lightyear meme?
No.
It's like people are just putting Ellie's face on Buzz Lightyear, and like it literally looks just like.
Oh yeah, I see. Because the oval.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was thinking if her and Ryan Kinnell collided foreheads, it might cause a like black hole to develop or something.
Yep. Thank you again, SWA, for the 12 super chats. Thank you. And Darth Angel for 5. A long time ago, a man named Maximus asked all of us in the Coliseum stands, are you not entertained? And my answer is no, Maximus, I am not. Well, hopefully, Darth Angel will be able to entertain you with our show, breaking down and ripping this episode. Yeah, not a lot happened in this episode. I might even give the Last of Us shills the week off this week, because really nothing all that much happened that I really want to do a video on. So might give the show, and they are crying, by the way. People are like snitching. I've been getting, I don't know if Wade Wallenstein's in here, but he's been sending me some screenshots on X. Like a lot, like the fans of the shills, like Fake Crier and I think Mary Cherry. So they're like, I'm getting these videos recommended to me, and it's this guy who's doing nothing but making fun of you and the other reactors and calling you fake. You're calling your reactions fake and calling you woke, and all people are like snitching, like trying to get like, you should report this man. I'm like, okay, because it's worked out so many of the other times that they did it.
You know what you could also do is click the little dots that are in the upper right of the video and say, do not recommend. And then you won't get those anymore.
Yeah, you can do that too. But I don't know. Some of these people, they just love being triggered. Well, I think they think if they do that, it'll get their fake reactor crush, the fake crier, Mary Cherry. It'll get them to respond to their comment, and then they can, jerk themselves to it at night. Like, oh my God, she responded to me. She's talking to me.
Which means it's probably really a dude or something. The one like what Kyle Katarn got catfished by.
Maybe. Glitchman for $10. Job's going well, thanks. Good shit. Good to know. I know I'm getting way ahead on the plot, but 10-1 odds that Rat King fight is going to only be less than a minute, and Abby only kills it out of luck.
Yeah, the Rat King, as far as gameplay goes, that's probably the highlight of the second game. It's
John
like
can tell you.
It's in this hospital and that you're going in, and it's basically like this big mass of limbs and infected that have all kind of congealed into a big ball, and it's this big boss fight in the game. It is a creepy scene. Like if it were in a better written game, I would really enjoy that. If it were in like a Resident Evil game or something, it would be a cool boss. But yeah, and it's definitely the coolest moment of Abby's campaign, because the rest of it, you're just dragging Trans Lev around.
Yep. Oh my god, yeah. I really after Joel's death, I did watch like the entirety of the cutscenes, but like after Joel's death, I kind of just tuned out the rest of the way. So a lot of this for me is going to be blind territory for me going in. So thank God I got you here.
Oh, I looked up Campia's
To
review,
explain.
and it does confirm. I suspect that he hadn't played it, and yeah, he just. I watched like his initial review when the game first came out, and he's like, "I've watched all 8-9 hours of cutscenes and plot relevant dialogue," and everybody, even the people who like agreed with him, because he was just like, I will never understand anybody who doesn't like this. It's like it's a masterpiece. It blows all of them out of
There's
the water.
so much more, especially in the first game, with like just like gameplay dialogue between Joel and Ellie, like that I'm sure they didn't put in the game video and everything. And what's up, Melissa Lord? Thank you for the Captain Jack Sparrow copy of the game, so I can click through the videos better on my web than on my web browser. So thank you, Melissa Lord. But there's so much dialogue from the game, just like as you're playing, as you're just walking, like the giraffe and like, just like Joel and Ellie, just like little one-liners that enhances their relationship and everything. And that you wouldn't get in just watching the plot relevant cutscene details.
Well, and I know they all jizzed their pants over episode 3 last season, where they completely deviated.
Yes, this episode was not that bad.
That's
it
true.
It wasn't that bad. I'll say that. It wasn't that bad.
But even that episode eliminated the entire section where Ellie and Joel are bonding as they work with Bill and everything.
Yes,
and
they completely ditched that for a fucking lifetime gay romance story.
And Druckmann's like, just have him write a letter. It'll be the same thing.
Oh my God, yeah.
Which is one of the coolest parts in the game, is running around the trap town, and Bill's really cool in the game.
I thought Red Jaguar, we were going to get one in the tent. I thought I thought Druckmann was going to do it. I think it's going to happen. I think we're going to get something.
Scissor me timbers.
We're going to get Scissor me timbers. Yes. And then, we're going to get, Abby's. Now Abby's is unless he makes Abby gay, which I wouldn't be shocked if he did, but like Abby's like heterosexual sex scene in the second game, that's terrible. And if it's anywhere close to as cringe in the live action as that was in the game, like brace yourself.
I hope for that actress's sake that they don't make her get it raw dogged from behind into the camera.
Right.
Because that's what the game was.
I remember I was watching like Mahler play that when he got to that scene. His fucking reaction to that was fucking hilarious.
Especially because that was right in the midst of Sony being like, oh, guys, we're going to cut all these anime games that even Nintendo allows because, they're too perverted. And then they're like, but Neil Druckmann, we'll let you have this fucking doggy style right into the camera with naked people. It's like, what the Lord. Fuck?
SWA for another $10. Thank you, SWA, for the $22 already on the stream, man. Appreciate you. Thank you. Are you aware of the latest super stupid leak? DC is never going to get it right for a while, are they? I wish DC was doing great. James Gunn is all about that dog and himself. The Superman leak. I have not. Are you, John?
I haven't seen that leak. No,
I haven't seen it either. SWA, if you want to put it in the chat, I'll keep an eye out for it.
What does the dog beat the main villain or something? He says it's all about that dog.
Yeah, I guess.
I did like how in the latest trailers they're like, James Gunn introduces James Gunn's Superman, directed by James Gunn.
I think Soy Boy Coy would call SWA a see you next Tuesday.
Whoa.
Right? As we talked about on yesterday's members only stream. God, that was bad.
I'm just going to call them. It's a word I really don't want to use, but because it's very hateful. But I'm going to go ahead and say it. I'm so edgy.
Yeah. Anyway, I'll keep an eye out for your chat in the chat, SW, because I am curious about that. And Darth Angel for $2. Sleeping with Bella is a fate worse than death. You couldn't pay me. You couldn't pay me. I mean, good Lord. It's really weird. I feel like Druckmann is like kind of like getting off on like putting her in these scenes though.
I never thought I'd say this, but the Bella from Twilight was better.
Oh, I'd agree with that. Yeah, 100%.
Oh,
Something about Lex using monkeys and social media.
oh, did you see our boy Pedro was in the news? He was going off on J.K. Rowling.
Oh, was he?
Pedro Pascal. I forget what he called her. He said,
Oh,
you know,
God.
she's a hateful, stupid person or something. Somebody in the chat will have the exact
I think
quote.
I think he just hates women. But don't
Yeah,
worry,
pretty much.
he won't be punished for it. He won't be punished for it.
I think he called her a loser or something, which it's like, even if you think that she's a horrible person, it's like she's also a billionaire. It's like when your 5 minutes of fame is up, I'm pretty sure that's not going to be true for you, Pedro.
Now Druckmann is watching the fake reactors and jerking off to them. I think that's what he's jerking off to.
See, I think he's responding to a lot of the criticism from the game because he spent a whole episode mourning Joel now, whereas one of the big criticisms of the game was, you know, we move on from that so fast.
Okay, so I guess we should get into this. You ready? Got your notes ready, John? I got mine here.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, I guess we kick off with Tommy. This is the only infected we see. The entire episode, just the aftermath of the battle from last episode, which was probably the most memorable thing for me, even over Joel's death. Wasn't terrible. It was, at least in the first two episodes, there's like a couple things I could pick out that I liked. Like this one, absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
So, Tommy and who is this?
That one, I'm not sure. I thought she was just like a generic person in the hospital. Like, I thought she was taking care of some of the dead bodies because Tommy shuffles her out pretty quickly.
Yeah.
She's not, from what I remember, a significant character in the game at all. Like,
Okay, because like they were just like highlighting this chick for whatever reason. So Tommy's mourning Joel's death, and it's basically, yeah, just skipping through. No dialogue or anything. I guess we're supposed to feel something. Curious how quickly the fake reactors started crying over this, but
oh, Tommy, no.
yeah. So I don't know. I don't really have anything on this. Do you?
Yeah, nothing on that.
There's fucking Joel just laying on
Joel Plankin.
This is Pedro Pascal doing an impression of Bella Ramsey.
Well, and as is typical for Pedro, he can't even be bothered to actually show up, so they had to cover his face. Just like in Mando, he's like,
he's probably already gone at this point. Probably already left the set, and this is a reshoot, but he couldn't make it back, so they just put a cloth and a blanket over somebody else. 100%.
In their defense, he probably charges like $1 million an episode. They're like, that's okay. We really don't need you to pretend to be dead in this episode. So go ahead and say this is the way into a microphone.
Best performance of Pedro ever.
What are you talking about? That one time when he said, "This is the way" in Mando,
yeah,
that was emotional.
Okay, so Ellie is in the hospital, and this scene this made me laugh. Let me see if I can get to it. Yeah. This made me laugh.
I joked, autistic screams probably when she sees her reflection.
Yep. I mean, just look at like
she's like cross-eyed in this scene a little bit.
Yeah, is that like on purpose? Is that like on purpose? Like Neil Druckmann is like asking the internet to make fun of her with some of these scenes. I gotta admit.
If I
gotta admit there.
If I get them all to think that she's disabled in some way and make fun of her, maybe I can get them all banned off YouTube. That's his long game.
Yeah, maybe.
So she's getting flashbacks of Abby killing Joel again. She's seeing hallucinations. They gotta sedate her, and then
that's all we get really of Ellie and her immediate reaction to Joel's death. Again, just like in the game, I guess he just glosses right over it because, again, I think just Neil Druckmann did not know how to write. An episode of like Ellie mourning, getting back up on that horse and everything. Because at the beginning of the episode, after this, she's pretty much ready to go to Seattle right here, right now.
It does the SpongeBob 3 months later.
Was that how long the jump was?
Yeah, it does the little subtitle on the bottom. It's like I
must have missed it.
Yeah, right as they start showing them. I noticed that they have a
bunch. Oh, there it is.
Yeah, there it is.
I totally missed that. Yep, there it is. 3 months later.
I noticed it was a bunch of guys with all their beards and everything that were helping repair everything. I was surprised because in the previous episodes when they went on patrol, they pretty much just had the two cowboy-looking guys just stay silent and get made fun of the whole time. So it's like, now we actually need to get work done. Let's get all these guys actually know what the fuck they're doing.
What's up, King Chris? How you doing?
Yeah, I just said, yeah, I wrote down like, oh yeah, 3 months, and then Jesse got swole because he had some guns in this episode. He's trying to compete with Manny Jacinto as he was hammering shit in.
Oh god, don't remind me about that. Okay, so yeah, we got men building the fixing the wall, I guess. Ellie's in the hospital. Dude, like, every screenshot of her is just horrible. Like extra Buzz Lightyear looking there.
Oh, yeah, they tried to... The new hairstyle didn't help. This lady, she's still going, Kevin! Where's the Home Alone mom?
Unbelievable. All right.
You say it that fast, it kind of implies you're not.
Okay.
So Ellie's talking to the therapist, that the pothead drunk therapist that Joel was talking to, and that little subplot that went absolutely nowhere from episode 1 where Joel was in therapy.
My main thing for this scene is I said Ellie's having a bitch off with the therapist because they're basically just competing to see who can be the bigger one right now. Like, oh, I know more than you do. Oh, I know more than you do. It's like, okay, let's get this scene over with. Oh.
Okay, yeah, let's get this scene over with.
Oh, and then she's lying to the therapist, and even though the therapist could tell immediately about, Joel lying, even whenever, Pedro gave him a lot of crap, he was a lot better of an actor than Bella in his therapy scene. As far as his lies and everything. She's just saying everything in the same sarcastic tone. She's like,
oh, yep, I'm over it. It's not for me.
It's like, oh my gosh, make her stop talking.
100. Okay, so it's like Ellie's almost like pretty much completely over it. She's very stoic in this episode. Very brave, not crying and whining like you would think a girl, 19, 20-year-old girl would. She's very strong, very stoic. And then the therapist at one point asks about the New Year's Eve party where Joel tackled Seth the bigot, and then Ellie yelled at him for defending her. Just made sure to put that in there. And yes, I also once again I literally wrote my notes in all capital letters. Ellie is so stoic in this scene.
Yeah. Well, oh my gosh. The concern for Ellie's like psyche and well-being later on in the episode, they're like, oh, we can't worry about these things because we're so busy recovering. Everything's so desperate right now. And yet we have time for this.
The therapist is not in the game, correct? Nope. I don't believe. Yes, not in the game. So Druckmann added the therapist just, to make Joel a little bit more of a pussy before he went out.
Because even though the second game is already overly long, they decided to stretch it into 2 seasons just to have more exciting scenes like this.
Exactly. There you go. Another not so flattering shot of Bella Ramsey. I guess she just looks nothing like Ellie.
No,
looks nothing like Ellie
in either game. She looks very different between the 2 games. She looks like neither of them.
Yes. So yeah, this is by the way, this therapist lady is just a horrible character. I guess he had
what you got in there?
Roger, you can't get any decent every screenshot of Bella is just less than flattering. The fucking eyebrow shave there.
There's a How I Met Your Mother episode where they joke that like Barney, he can't ever take a bad picture. Whenever they take a picture of him, he always looks handsome and stares right at the camera. She's the opposite. You can't take a good picture. You can't get a good still.
Is she missing a tooth?
Who knows?
Looks like she's missing a tooth there.
It might be the lighting, but I think you might be right. Maybe they did it for the show. Say Abby knocked one out.
What do you think, chat? Like she missing a tooth there on the left? I don't know. I can't tell.
See, SWA, he said that she's Abby. I think if they just gave Jesse like a wig they could make him be Abby from the game. He could just swing the golf club.
So, yes, Ellie walks out all stoic, stunning, and brave, and then goes to Joel's house, has a little bit of a cry. And then Dina walks in. This lasts like 2-3 minutes.
Yeah, she's wandering around crying into jackets and shit.
Yeah, I don't really have anything on this. And then eventually Dina shows up. There she is. To save our eyes. Save our eyes with her, because at least she's pleasant to look at.
Yep.
And
she's a hot girl in the new Superman movie, apparently.
Is she really? Wow.
I think Jacob told me that in chat. Yeah.
God, imagine if they gave that to Bella Ramsey.
Who's
Bella Ramsey? Chad, here's a question for you in the chat. Who's Bella Ramsey going to be in the MCU?
She'll be Wonder Woman. Oh, in the MCU. I thought you were going to say in DC. In the MCU, she can.
Who's she going to be in Disney Star Wars? Maybe she'll be Bastila.
Who's that hot, the red Twi'lek that everybody, Maul's apprentice, they keep talking about now?
Oh, you saw today's video. Maul's apprentice is going to be Kira.
Right.
Yeah, it's Kira from Solo: A Star Wars Story is going to be Darth Maul's apprentice, according to Eric Voss, the new Rockstar's Talon.
Darth Talon. Yeah, they can cast, because that's like a sexy character.
Jake, you're
so
right. Yeah,
like...
I think Jake is right. She's going to be Jean Grey, because Ellie was a redhead and Bella Ramsey is not, so they're just going to take another redhead and give it to Bella Ramsey. There you go.
They'll want to stick it to the male gaze, so they'll give her all the sexy roles, the traditionally ones, and they'll be like, well, we'll show those chuds. They can't lust over these women.
Okay, so Dina shows up. I got here. Dina has literally the names of I guess even though Dina was knocked out and asleep the entire time, because remember they knocked her out. Yep. Dina has everyone's names in Abby's crew and where they're going, even though they gave her a shot which knocked her unconscious.
And just perfect memory, even if they said something before they knocked her out, it's like, wow, you got
even the stress of the situation and her getting knocked out, which I would assume would give some sort of memory loss.
No, she has the power of strong women. She has none of these issues.
I guess, but yeah, Dina has the names of everyone in Abby's crew and knows that they are in Seattle, even though she was unconscious.
And they're doing the same thing they did in the game, where they're just constantly glazing Dina. It's like, look at how competent she is at everything she does.
Druckmann's like, oh, hopefully nobody notices.
I just wrote, even Dina knows Ellie is a bitch, and then Ellie is an irrational bitch in the scene. She's like, I'll bring cookies so you don't get mad. And then she's like, oh, you would have ripped out all your tubes. I don't give a fuck. Of course, Ellie's trying to act tough again, and it really, oh boy, she sells it. I'm so intimidated.
Right. Okay, I also wrote at the bottom here, surprised this didn't become a sex scene. Because wasn't there some flirting in this?
Yeah, they're pretty much trying to push that in every one. I mean, not as heavy as in the tent, but they're doing some eye gazing, and then they also kind of treat Abby like Negan, because they do a big, pause kind of whenever they reveal her name. She's like, she's Abby, and then Ellie's like, Abby.
And speaking, I'm glad you brought up Negan, because it reminds me of, we saw Campia last week trying to compare Joel's death to Ned Stark in Game of Thrones season 1. And it's completely ridiculous. For one thing, they didn't sacrifice Ned Stark to push female characters. They did it to push all the other characters. And like another thing that I forgot to mention during that is they had spent that entire season of the show sending everyone on their journeys who were going to be following, Arya, Sansa, Jon, Tyrion, Cersei, Jaime, Rob, they've sent everyone on their way. Like together, they were able to fill the void, the vacuum that Ned Stark left over. Emilia Clarke, yes, Khaleesi, Daenerys, yes, her as well. And like they were all able to fill that void. Bella Ramsey as Ellie is nowhere near able to fill Pedro, as much as I can't stand the guy, she's like, no way she can fill his void.
Every
that he
time she
leaves in the
says the
show.
F word, it's like she's trying to sound tough and throw it into more sentences. And with Ellie in the game, she does that a lot too, but it's not supposed to be like intimidating. In this, they really frame it like, "Oh, you're so fierce. Oh, you're so intimidating, Ellie." It's just like, I don't care how many times you tell me, Druckmann, I'm still not going to be intimidated. Ooh, there's the tough face.
Yeah, serious tough face. There you go. Are you
Ooh.
scared? I'm scared, but like not for the reasons like Druckmann wants me to be.
I'm scared of the forehead.
Yes, like a little yes. And this scene drags on for a very long time, and then they go talk to Tommy. And let's see, what do I have on this? She's talking about Tommy joining them to hunt down the fireflies.
Well, the only other thing I had down was she reveals it's the WLF, Washington Liberation Front. She gives the little backstory on the group that Abby came from, and I just wrote down, Washington Liberation Front is just BLM that had taken over Seattle, and then the apocalypse happened because Seattle was already in some trouble. And they had all those blocks closed off.
Yep. So yeah, Tommy just basically says like, yeah, like be careful. I think he knows that no matter what the council, they're talking that the council has to vote on whether they're gonna send people out to kill the people who killed Joel.
And I had to give the tiniest bit of credit to the writers here. I think it's in this line. Tommy actually, because Ellie's, of course, being a bitch to him, just like always, just like she is to everybody aside from Dina, and even sometimes Dina. But Tommy's, I just wrote down, thank God someone finally talks back to her, because Tommy's like, hey, I knew him too. Basically, like stop giving me shit. I'm just like, I was shocked. I was like, wow, somebody actually called her out on being a heinous bitch for once. But then he immediately is stupid and is like, we have to call a city council meeting.
Yeah. And then we get this group of survivors. Now, I'm pretty sure, are they in the game? I doubt they probably are in the game. Are these guys in the game?
They
know who these people are?
Yeah, I had forgotten their names, so I looked it up. But they're basically like a kind of stealthy faction you have to face. They are called the Scars or the Seraphites. And they're basically like they're kind of like they're shown here. They're called Scars because they all have the Joker scars.
Yes.
But
they put the, you want to know how I got these scars on their faces, Chad? I did notice that.
They're like on an island, as I recall, because the finale to the game is the WLF is assaulting them while you're trying to get to like Abby and them. And so they're like on an island just off, or maybe just on like a peninsula or something off the coast of Seattle, because that's the big action finale. There's always these two factions in the game. These guys are more secretive and use bows and shit and whistles.
Yeah.
Then the WLF is the big military one.
Yes. And that's who we see at the end of the episode, right?
Yeah. Yeah, in the stupidest formation ever. If you're facing a secretive group that likes to attack people,
I'm very curious because I'm assuming maybe the next episode is going to be like the Abby episode because we haven't gotten like a full-on Abby episode. One is coming, so I'm wondering if the next one's going to be the Abby episode. I'm curious how the shills react to Abby.
Well,
how quickly they start to forgive her.
It'll either be an Abby episode soon, or they're going to do it like the game where they'll do this whole season from Ellie's perspective. And then since we already know season 3 is coming, they'll do all that from Abby's perspective and then have them meet. Though the end of season 2 will be a teaser where, it shows Abby showing up.
Yeah, so they're just like walking and talking, and then somebody whistles. There's the Scars. And so it's like 2 whistles is safe, 1 whistle is danger, I guess, or that other group.
Yeah, I think they're trying to sound like birds, but it just sounds like a loud ass whistle.
Yeah, it didn't really sound like a bird to me.
Because in the game they do it like it's kind of more subtle, and it's kind of you start to detect it where like you hear one of the whistles, it's like, oh shit, I know those guys are about to shoot me with arrows or something. But in this one, they're just loudly whistling at each other while they're walking on a path.
Mm-hmm. So we get Ellie training with Jesse, punching a boxing bag. That was a good one there.
And then immediately asks him to disobey all the rules for her.
Yeah, so Tommy is on the council all of a sudden now, and she basically wants him to inform on what everyone's thinking and put in a vote to send a group of people to go and kill Abby and friends.
And she does not look convincing doing the punching bag. I know this is actually after she's supposed to be in the hospital, but they also say she's back to 100%. And it again is just like, yeah. Yeah.
Well, they did address that in the episode. He said, "Oh, you're weaker than you were the last time you were trained." 'Cause she was in the hospital for 3 months, so they addressed that there. So that's the excuse that they wrote into it. So yeah, so then we get to the council vote on whether to send people after. This idiot speaks is talking about like shit that has nothing to do with it. And then people are speaking for and against. This chick was against it, I believe.
Yeah.
Like we need to that was a really dumb line. I think it was supposed to be dumb, but it's like she's like, we need to forgive people.
Oh, and it's mainly the next guy that I think his name's Carlisle. He's like, we need to forgive and forget. And
I'm not
right, Christian,
guy.
but
yes, it was this guy, this Asian guy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because she's like,
standing up.
Yeah, she basically says like, "Oh, I have kids, and so we can't risk it because we're still healing." Nice.
Later, Star Wars Marvel purist, thanks for bopping in. And as you can see, there is Seth. So Seth's redemption is about to begin.
The absolute Chad Seth.
With this scene right here. Yeah, he was really good in episode 1. I liked him in episode 1, and now they're cucking him. Now they're turning him into a poly, because this is the bigot's path to redemption, according to Neil Druckmann right here with Seth. Just agree and support the lesbian on everything she wants to do, pretty much. That's basically it. So
I did like his speech though when he ended it with, "What are you, just a bunch of victims?"
Yeah, they had to throw that in there to be like, that's probably a Druckmann line to throw him in there and be like, yeah, see, this guy's still an asshole. He still doesn't entirely get it.
Oh, I thought that was the amazing, rousing end. I was like, yes, Seth, woo, no victims. But I'm sure Druckmann intended it to be terrible.
Yep.
Because then Ellie, even though she agrees with him, she has to keep being a bitch. So she's like, well, it's not about hatred, as she looks at him when she gives her quote unquote inspiring speech.
So yes, the guy in the top left corner there basically just says, "Oh, we need to forgive people," and it's like, dude, what the fuck? They just came in and they'll come back later. And then Seth comes up and then just basically goes full on Team Ellie and supports her, gives like about minute-long speech. Yeah, this is the guy right here who was like just crying and whining. And then there he is. Seth stands up. It's like, fuck this shit. We need to go fuck them up. And they make sure to point out that like Ellie still doesn't forgive him for calling her a dyke. She's still salty about it. We as the audience, should be some interesting watching of the shills to see how they feel about that. So then Ellie, so he does his little rant, and then Ellie comes up and like, I don't know if this was bad acting. Well, it's always bad acting, but I don't know if this was like bad acting or if this was supposed to be bad. Like, I guess Druckmann took advantage of Bella Ramsey's bad acting because like this was kind of supposed to portray that Ellie is not really serious about this message that she wrote down. So I guess like Bella Ramsey's bad acting was able to, take some lemons and make lemonades out of it with this scene right here, and it ended up actually kind of working. Anyway.
Well, she takes advice from a man because Jesse tells her in the previous scene to write down her thoughts because people aren't going to listen to her if she just rants and raves, which is probably good advice for her because she's not a very good personality in this game / season. But then they kind of make it look like she's inspiring people, like the way that they're kind of panning the camera around and stuff.
Yeah, that's what kind of confused me. Like I was expecting her to like rip the message up at some point and then just go, right? Because like, yeah, it came across really disingenuous. And then it's like, God, the acting is so bad, but it's like, it's kind of supposed to be because she's not serious.
We must be unburdened by what has been.
Yeah. And then the council eventually votes, and it's like what 11-3 in favor of not go 7-3.
Yeah. So this is where this council is really stupid the way that they're structured, because they say will we send 16 people? Let's hear in an open forum, and then we'll vote without even talking to each other. Why not have the people who are actually voting maybe discuss and be like, oh, should we send 8? Should we send 16? Maybe we could send 4. All right, we all agree to 4. Okay. Like instead, they're just like 16 or nothing. No. Okay, we never
Yeah,
discuss this
weird.
again.
It seems like a bit much, if you ask me.
Yeah. It's like they
Those
like
two
have
end up
no
going,
they
and
have no
Ellie and Dina.
flexibility in their decision though. It's just like yes or no to this exact number, and then we never discuss this again. It's like, well, wait, can't we like negotiate or something? No, this is how our government works. It's retarded.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Okay. All right. Anything else on this scene?
uh,
Or we move on. Ugh.
nothing much, no. Woof. Yeah, we got Hassan Piker there on the council.
Ugh. Okay, that's not bad.
Yeah, they should have just had
Okay.
Dina be like, look, I'll blow all the council members if they vote yes. Or at least 7 of them.
Oh, you can't say that, John. That's crossing the line.
She could have convinced at least a couple of those male members, I'm telling you.
Right,
She just needed to
so,
flirt with them before the vote.
I thought this scene was weird. So there's a t-ball game going on, and the therapist and Tommy are sitting just outside of the infield. So I guess I guess none of these kids can jack one out into the outfield. Apparently, I don't know where's the out. They're sitting right on the field, literally watching. I just thought that was weird. I just thought that was kind of weird.
Well, and they only show one hit, and then the kid falls on his face. So I think they're all idiots.
Maybe this is the special needs t-ball team or something. I don't know. Maybe I don't know. So anyway, they have a conversation. We get the I don't get this therapist. Like, are they going somewhere with this character?
Well, they don't even. If it's anything like the game, they're not going to spend any more time in Jackson at this point. Like they've pretty much moved on. Maybe
they are.
Flash back to Tommy or something there before he decides to go with him. But it's weird that they established this character that there's really not anything to do with. Like she had the whole big scene with Joel, and nothing comes of that because he dies the next episode. Like,
yeah.
Uh,
And she like spits this line like, I'm a drug addict, alcoholic, or what? So you're a terrible therapist. Kate, got it.
Also, I love how they're like, oh, we can't spare anybody. We're still recovering so much. And yet they got people sitting around getting drunk watching baseball games. Like, it doesn't seem like you're down to bare essentials, guys.
Yeah,
Seems
it doesn't
like you're
really
still pretty
seem
relaxed.
like it doesn't really feel like they got just jacked a few months ago by a herd or whatever, and like I guess they're never gonna come back. It's very like it's weird how just like the zombies show up, the infected show up when the plot needs them to show up, and then whenever they're gone, they just fuck off for a while. And there's no like, at least in like The Walking Dead, like you could always get the feeling that there was like something out there, at least for the first like maybe 6 or 7 seasons.
Yeah.
But like you always got the sense that but like this is just like, yeah, like everything's cool. Like no zombies this episode. We're cool here.
Now this lady's still just depressed because she forgot Kevin back at home, and so she's been getting drunk and high ever since. She's like, I'm a terrible mother. He got infected while I was gone.
All right. So Ellie is prepping to go to Seattle.
Another great pause face.
Abby. Yeah, every single one. Every single one. There's another one. That's a better one.
Oh, there's Dina trying to convince the council again.
Yep, there you go. Hawk Tua, Dina.
Honestly, just catch him going into the meeting, be like, hey, I'd really appreciate it if you'd vote for Ellie.
So Dina's like, yeah, we need this, and this type of equipment, that type of equipment, and everything. And makes a list, checks it twice. And Dina is going and everything. You still there, John? Okay, I guess John just bounced real quick, chat. Oh, there he is.
Sorry.
There he's back. Anything else on that scene?
Not really. It's
okay, just prepping, and then so then they get the materials they need. They get a horse, provisions, and weapons. And guess who brings them to them? Guess who the Dina's inside guy is? It's fucking Seth, man, hooking them up.
Seth.
What did Dina do? Maybe Dina showed Seth her heterosexuality in order to secure these provisions. I don't know. Maybe. What do you think? What do you think? Maybe she rewarded him for it, because she does say later in the episode she is the heterosexual.
Yeah. Well, yes.
So yeah,
and,
Seth
and Ellie's
gives them,
still a bitch.
Seth
Yeah.
brings them a horse, provisions, and weapons. Gives Ellie a better rifle to use and everything, better than the one she has. And Ellie's still being a bitch despite all of this. She's still he says that he got shot during the raid, and then she said is it friendly fire, or he got injured or something? Is it friendly fire or what? I don't know.
Yeah, that's pretty much what she says. She's like, are you sure it was friendly? Like, basically somebody intentionally shot him.
Which would have been justified, by the way.
Which is what Ellie would have done. They would have been fighting zombies, and she would have been like, bigot.
Yeah, I'm going to have to take out their cars. Remember, John Roca says that this is the danger in the group. This guy right here. The bigotry and homophobia is a bigger danger to Ellie and Jackson than the infected that literally tore down the wall and killed a huge chunk of their group in the last episode. All right. Anything else on this scene?
No, we get to the grave of Joel here.
Yep, right here. Yeah, nothing really here. She kind of just stands and looks at it, doesn't really say anything.
Yeah, and then it's a bunch of wide shots with silhouettes, artistic shots.
Yeah, might get some funny Bella Ramsey freeze frames here. And then her and Dina ride off, and they're heading towards Seattle. We get a travel montage of them traveling. Well, that's a bad one too. And then here we go. So here's the this is probably going to be the shill's favorite scene of the entire episode right here.
There she is.
They're camping out together. I full on expected something to happen here sexually.
Scissor me timbers.
Yes. I full on expected it. So they go to bed, and then Dina wakes up and she's like, rate the kiss from episode 1 on a scale from 1 to 10. And Ellie, because Ellie's made out with girls before and Dina hasn't, and was asking her about it, and Ellie gives her a 6 out of 10. If she would have gave it a 7 out of 10, I would have busted out laughing. 7 out of 10, kiss.
I was laughing because she gives a 6 out of 10 and she takes offense. I'm like, Dina works by the game rating scale where anything below a 7 is trash.
You would think that I guarantee Ellie, the girls that Ellie was making out with were not as hot as Dina. So you'd think that she would give her a higher score just based solely upon that.
Well, we saw, I think, the only one, the Left Behind DLC, and then it was in the last season, her black friend from back when she got bit. So that was probably the only prior one, and I don't know. Well, whatever. They were supposed. It's so weird that they cast the same person, because in that flashback, Ellie's supposed to be like freaking 14, and then they still have the same actress whenever she's like 20 or whatever in this. It's so weird that they kept the same actress, and it makes all the scenes like that
it was a two year jump, and
but in the DLC, it's a further flashback, so it's even further back.
Okay,
it's still true, they still kept Bella.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
which honestly, she looks more like the super young Ellie. Is the weird thing too. It's like she just has that type of face. It's strange. Dina's like, lusting after her.
It's so you'd think it'd be the opposite.
Yeah,
like you think that Ellie would be like, I want you so, but it's like Dina wants her. It literally makes no sense. But Ellie's the Mary Sue, right? Everybody either wants to be her or wants to be with her. Yes, Ellie is a Mary Sue in this.
I was expecting them to cut to outside the tent, and it's just bobbing up and down. GTA 3 style.
Yep. Oh my God. So then they continue on in the next day, and they run into that group of survivors from earlier. There's one of them there. And then the group that ran off to hide, the scars, right? Yeah, they're all there. They are all dead including the
Whoa.
just like I don't buy it, Bella. I don't buy your performance. I'm sorry.
But
Like-
didn't you hear that, Shill? If you don't like her performance, you just don't know what good acting is.
Oh yes, John Campia's. Yep, and even the little girl from earlier is dead as well.
Mm. So, and then Dina, this is going to be a spoiler, but Dina goes over and throws up after seeing this.
Yes. Ellie does not.
Well, spoiler alert, everybody. Dina doesn't throw up because of what she sees. Dina has morning sickness.
I forgot about that. Yes, Dina. Yes, okay. And it's probably Ellie's baby.
Well, you remember she said she went back to Jesse, and there's some truth to that. He's basically a sperm donor before they get their lesbian on.
So, yep, they're still traveling. What does that say? Approaching a monitored zone. Okay.
Yeah, it's the quarantine notice that all the big cities have because the military closed them all off. Yeah.
And just like that, at the end of the episode, we are already to Seattle. One episode after Joel dies, they're already they already make it to Seattle.
Jacob just had the worst thought ever that it was Seth. Oh no, there was another. Oh, I thought you said something about.
Oh, somebody
saying Seth gave Dina
is the father. That would be a twist. That would be a twist. And it was probably not consensual because they gotta get Seth back on people's bad sides.
The baby's first word is "Twike." He's like, no.
That would be some drama, wouldn't it? A Ellie, Dina, and Seth love triangle. There you go. There's some drama writing for you, Druckmann.
Oh my god.
Exactly. That's why it makes sense in the writing. That's why Seth got so upset seeing her with somebody else. Exactly, Winterfire. You're 100% correct.
I would just feel sorry for her if I saw that. But...
Yeah, really speed running the trip to Seattle here.
And the main thing in this scene, I mean, they just come and basically look it over, say, "Oh, it's so pretty," and then Dina keeps glazing Ellie. She's like, "Oh, I was just trying to sound badass. Oh, you don't have to act." It's like, "Oh wow, she's so badass." Okay.
Mm-hmm. And then we get the this is the who are these guys again? The
WLF, Washington Liberation Front. So guys, if you're facing a guerrilla enemy who's known for like sneak attacks and everything, isn't this like the least effective use of your resources? You're burning all your fuel just driving a bunch of vehicles down the street. You have a massive crowd all gathered together. You know what
they're going down a hill, so they could be coasting right now. They could just put it in neutral and they could be coasting down the hill.
If I'm Ellie and Dina and I happen to run into them 5 minutes earlier when they're marching like this, I'm just going to toss 2 Molotovs and pretty much their whole military is dead.
Yeah.
And they're just like lined up in the street like the British during the friggin' Revolutionary War. They're just marching in line.
Anyway, so the Washington Liberation Front. That's these guys. And then that's it. That's the episode. Very not the best start, chat. Not the best start for Ellie taking over the reins from Joel in this episode. Not the best start. She's not doing the best job carrying the show, if you ask me. But any final thoughts on the episode before we get to the inside the episode? I can't wait to hear this.
Well, this is what we're stuck with, ladies and gentlemen, for the rest of the series. It's going to be the lesbians, and if it's accurate to the game, maybe Jesse will stop by or Tommy, but they're in that pretty briefly, so hopefully we get an expansion on their parts just so we can break up the monotony a little bit, because otherwise it's just going to be these two going, "Oh, are you sure you're not gay? I don't know, maybe I am."
All right. So with that, chat, as always, we're gonna get into the breakdown, because I always just get a huge kick of Druckmann just coping over his series. And that other, who's that the director who was in the last one who said that Abby's not the villain?
Oh yeah, they
that fucking clown.
Yeah, he's like the director. I think he's the director of a lot of these episodes because I know the first one they said he was the director. I only like hot lesbian. That is saying.
Yeah. There's gonna be 2, not just 1. Yeah.
Always 2 there. An ugly and a beautiful.
Ellie
Damn, that was pretty loud. All right, let's get into this.
is in pain. We understand she's in physical pain because she was really
No shit.
hurt. But
I'm glad
more
they
than
explained that.
it's quite clear she hasn't left that room in a way.
This fucking guy. Yeah, this fucking idiot.
Yeah.
I guarantee this dude's gay in real life. This fucking dude's gay. Like,
Are you sure you want to watch, honey?
This is Eric Voss in like 30 more years right here. This is Eric Voss. Maybe this is Eric Voss's dad.
I was just gonna say it's his dad.
Yeah.
I made sure Eric was in touch with his emotions as a child.
Yeah. I put Voss in the closet when he was a kid.
He thought he was
She
straight,
is
but I
still
corrected
on the
that.
floor watching it happen.
We had to get that twice.
Still makes me laugh. It's dude. The guy's a pretty bad director. A guy, a good director could get a good performance out of Bella Ramsey.
More screaming, Bella. You're great at it.
God, that is really loud.
I love episode 2. It does something.
I
the
bet
way-
you
Oh,
do.
of course you do, Joel. Or of course you do,
Joel.
Joel. Jesus Christ. Of course you do, Neil.
Oh, Neil. He's giving himself a lot of titles.
I can't wait to see Intergalactic be the next Star Wars Outlaws. I can't wait, and I can't wait to see him cry about it.
Just couldn't do in the game. In the game, after Joel dies, because the mechanics of the game are very action-oriented, the mourning period is relatively short.
Which is a really
Here we
stupid
can take
attitude to
almost an
have.
empire.
You don't
This
have to have constant
This mourning
action.
period was short as well, Druckmann. I mean, there
Really?
wasn't really any mourning going on outside of the first 5-10 minutes of the episode.
And he's got a pretty narrow view of what can be in games. He's like, oh, well, the morning, we can't have that in the game. God, we can't have anything but shooting in a game. It's like, well, that shows your limited scope as a game designer as well as a writer.
Louise Julie was going to do reactions, but I think when she found out that we were going to be covering it, she decided against it. But yeah, she would have probably made some of the Last of Us videos over the past couple weeks that we did if she was indeed watching it.
Who's the chick that cries every time? I think you call her the
Funny
fake
little
crier
gal?
or something. Yeah, she would be. She should do episode 2.
And really feel the loss of this character. There's this really beautiful scene where Tommy comes in and he has to clean up his brother's body.
I've thought about that scene quite a bit. You know, I call it the one-man wake. It
There's really not much to it, Tommy. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, like,
We get it. You're sad.
They took Tommy out of the scene itself because originally he was there when Joel got killed. They took him out and put Dina there, I guess, because we got to highlight the women. And they put him on. I mean, they put him on the action scene. Well, I guess, I don't know. Maybe they needed somebody there to lead the action sequence. I don't know. But they took him out of the scene. And originally, Tommy was there when Joel died in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Long night shooting that scene.
Pedro and Gabe are kind of like brothers, and you could see how much they love each other. And in a way, it's like one character saying goodbye to his brother.
That's not Pedro.
Pedro wasn't even there.
That's not Pedro. Get the fuck out of here. That's a
Was that
stunt
a
double.
poop?
But also
What?
another actor saying goodbye to someone that's really close to them.
So maybe Pedro and this dude fooled around a bit in the dressing room, according to Druckmann.
Druckmann made them.
Yeah.
There aren't many shows where you would build an entire house for a character who's just died, because normally that would be one of the hero sets,
Peter Hoare.
Damn whore.
and it'd be filmed relentlessly. The exterior had been seen, and the interior had not. And we needed it because Ellie has to make a very moving, emotional journey through that. that house to
Yes. Tell us it's moving. That's very.
It did, yeah. It didn't land at all. You know, you look at Bella Ramsey. You know, if you had an actual good actress, maybe it would have. You look at Bella Ramsey, you just cringe and you chuckle.
You're a bunch of whores.
to kind of do her grieving in private.
Ellie's headspace at the beginning of episode 3 is dark. It's like the stages of grief, right? I think she's so broken and numb, and then becomes incredibly angry. Shooting the scenes in Joel's house were sad, really sad. There's a couple of takes where I really cried into his jacket.
Wow. She cried just like she said she cried last time, just like she cried the time.
How come that didn't make it in then?
Yeah, really.
I was operating that shot and I was crying with her because it was so
Everybody's crying.
strong.
Yeah, this is why this show sucks. A bunch of pussies like this are writing it. This is why this show sucks.
She was
right
walking
here.
through a house. It's so
I
emotional.
was crying during the scene. Go play The Walking Dead Telltale Season 1 and fucking go watch the ending of that. And then I could okay, I won't shit on you for shedding a tear over that because that's sad as fuck. And it was actually built to much better.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Keep that hair short.
Joel and Ellie is nothing compared to Lee and Clementine. Nothing.
Uncomfortably close was one of my constant words. Being uncomfortably close to people so that their pain.
What? What? Is there something you want to tell us?
Yeah, like why do you like being uncomfortably close to people? That's a weird thing to say.
Constant words.
That's what he tells every woman
Being
at the bar. He's
uncomfortably
like,
close
I
to
like being
people so that
uncomfortably close to
their
you.
pain is so much more powerful.
Oh my god. Okay.
Yeah.
In a
There's not
battle
too many
where a lot
highlights
of
from this
people-
one.
Yeah.
It triggers a lot of emotions among the community.
Does it? I didn't really see anything. I mean, if it did.
See, Abby, that would be good for Abby. They just need to throw a wig on this guy and he could have been game accurate Abby.
Yeah, look at those arms right there. There are the arms. He's got the arms.
Spider strikes a nerve, and that is an impetus for some great changes.
Community, we have to move forward. Neil Chance to comment on how this ought to go. And there are two very particular points of view that are articulated here.
Do they talk about Seth?
They talk a little bit about Seth. Let's see. I just wrote down they really thought they were cooking by having Seth take her side. Neil supports bigots. Oh yeah, because he says that Seth is complicated.
And you might not think that'd be.
Oh, I think this is it. Yeah, oh, there. Oh.
Chad Seth.
From a very unexpected person, Seth.
They came into our house. They took one of ours.
Sounds like a football coach that just lost a home
at
game.
least I can buy the acting from this guy. Like at least I can like buy it. Like he sounds like genuine. I can believe.
Dina's giving him the eyes there.
Yeah, Dina's like, oh, that's my baby.
What a man.
Be a bigot towards Ellie and Dina on episode 1.
Did he just drop the B word?
Yep.
Hang on.
We saw him be a bigot towards Ellie and Dina on
bigot.
episode 1.
Oh my god.
And here he is the one that is standing up to help Ellie. And you might not think that would be the case, but people are complicated. And a guy that's bigoted in one moment could still love Ellie and has still loved Joel and knows what happened to Joel was wrong.
Because you wrote it that way, Druckmann. You just wrote it.
And basically he says that he thinks Ellie is basically Joel now, that he's established that. She's just as tough of a survivor.
A bigot.
So when Ellie has to come to the council and convince them all,
They basically just kind of recap
Which she did a horrible job at, by the way. A horrible job. I see why the vote was, 8-3, 7-3, whatever it was.
They actually were, after
speech.
Seth's speech, they were going to vote for it, but then Ellie gave her speech
Yeah, I
and they all
think if they'd have
swung
voted
back.
after, Seth's speech, they might have won. They might have got the 16 people to go after them, honestly.
I want that to be the plot twist.
is very calculated about how she does it.
We see Ellie, despite her instinct, try to slow things down because she just wants to say, fuck all of them. I want
Whoa.
to pursue them to the
Ooh.
ends of the earth. And
I see where all
Neil.
the F-bombs are coming from.
Sounds so
Frickin'
tough when
Druckmann.
he says it, just as tough as
Yeah.
Bella. I'm not sure who would win and more intimidating.
want to make them pay. But she can't say that because that's not going to win her argument.
Why?
She's trying to make.
Well, Seth did, and I think again, like Seth kind of did that in his, and I think if they voted after Seth gave his speech, they would have, at least it would have been, they would have got more than 3 yes votes at the very least. I think they were just trying to right around Bella Ramsey's bad acting, and this was the best way they could figure out how to do it. Just have her give a bad speech and have it be within the confines of the show a bad speech.
Yeah. Yeah, Dina's like, what the hell, Ellie? This is a terrible speech.
This is what justice would look like. She's trying to appeal to Maria, who used to be a prosecutor, and she said,
"Oh God,
as he can."
It was massive. It was 6.5 pages, I think, which we shot all in one day. It was just so much more powerful because you haven't got to go again and again and again for a single camera to be in all of those different places. Kind of acts as a balancing part of it, or at least a voice.
Thing like that doesn't mean you can get it.
And not a whole lot in the rest of this, I don't think. They kind of just review what happened in the episode. They're
kind of just
like,
patting themselves on the back.
Need an ally.
Because I didn't have any notes past the city council meeting. I was
the
like,
allies, and who do we meet leading this small procession?
Okay,
they talk a little bit about like, oh, these guys found comfort in religion.
Maybe more than friendship.
Oh, here. Okay, they're talking about the tent scene. I kind of let's listen to this, and then we'll call it.
And that will keep them both alive.
Let's hear this.
Here also on their path is a sense that their friendship is maybe more than friendship.
Oh my God. And yeah, you guys probably get so hard writing this scene and watching them act it out.
Ellie's trying to figure it out. On the one hand, Dina sort of says it's not. And on the other hand, kind of says maybe it is.
But all women are really lesbians.
This is the problem. Like, they focus way too much on this shit than telling a post-apocalyptic zombie series.
It's a CW show, and that's kind of what the second game becomes.
Like, the show is like every episode. Like, have we got an episode yet that didn't have fucking woke fucking bullshit in it? Like, we haven't. Every episode has had fucking woke fucking bullshit in it. At least, like, again, like when the show started, I think the first 2 episodes of season 1, they just went full on action, full on characters, and I was on board with the show until episode 3. Episode 3 was like the Last Jedi for me.
Oh.
And I was like, yep, I'm completely done with this.
An episode you totally could have skipped.
And now it's just like every episode, it's like they got a checklist. We have to have this scene. We have to have this scene. You would think that there are more gay people in the apocalypse in this universe than there are straight people.
And we also have to all get in touch with our emotions and see the perspectives of others, because really, guys, Abby's not even bad.
It's like all this emotional gobbledygook. Ugh.
Hard to tell.
You've kissed girls before. You're gay. I'm not. I'm just curious. Want to know if
she's bi-curious?
Yeah, the immediate reaction from all the shills.
We got everything. We got everything in this. We got lesbians. We got Abby about to get it up the ass at some point. And now we got bi-curious Dina here.
So I'm making my show prediction when they watch this scene. At least one of them is going to be like, oh, girl, you are so gay. Don't even say that. We all know.
Be a fun game to play. Like, which shill says that?
I'm
really good at it. 1 to 10.
Okay, fine. 6.
Fuck you, 6.
That's not bad. That sucks.
Why do you care, Dina? I mean, have you seen what Ellie looks like? Why do you even care?
Well, maybe she has a hotter girl in mind that she's trying to practice for.
Isabella and Bella were together a lot, and we were really just seeing the beginning of that. But there's a lot of scenes where we're just finding our...
Is it me, or is it kind of weird seeing these men like over the age of 50 like writing for and talking about this scene with a bunch of teenage girls?
Yep.
Is it just me? What do you think, Chad?
Because if you complain...
What do you think, Chad? I mean, like, I think Druckmann's under 50. He's probably like in his 40s or some shit, right? But like these fucking dudes over the age of 50 talking about these lesbian teenage girls and shit.
Well, and all the people who say like, oh, quit talking about game characters. You're so creepy. I bet they have no problem with this. Them talking about actual people. Oh my God.
way. They are finding their way.
Harvey wants.
But the two of them now are our pair. We are a show where two people a lot of times are
Here we
alone.
go.
Getting from one place.
These are your two main characters.
She's as bored as the audience in that film.
Let's see if they can fill the void. I'm not talking about the upcoming sex scene.
Grieve him. But I wanted us to be able to grieve him too.
Yes.
To almost let myself go to.
Okay. Yeah, it fell completely flat.
We all need to get to our emotional place and go through our stages of grief, everybody.
All right. Yeah. On that note, I think that is it for The Last of Us episode 3. Very under. I thought this was the worst episode just by default, really.
Paul Anderson makes a good point. I think they're going to make the metaphor of two voids colliding into a literal reality. They'll be like, we have Ellie's and we have Dina's voids, and we're going to see them combine at some point to fill each other's voids, but not really. Oh, God.
All right. Where did I think I got Darth Angel's sleeping with Bella is a fate worse than death. I think I got that before. Either way, thank you, Darth Angel, for the $2. Then we had Red Jaguar for 2. Keep crypto away from Star Wars sex splain. You know that's going to be his favorite part of the movie. Star Wars sex splain.
Oh, my God. And you can see how we get to where we are with the state of these men who are making the show.
SWA for another $10. Thank you, SWA. Apparently, Super Stoop gets sad as he's trolled by cancel culture monkeys. Okay. Apparently, might have something to do with James Gunn's past. Wouldn't be surprised if it's true. Full info on Comic Book News. Might have to check that out. Interesting.
Oh, okay. So like Superman in the movie gets trolled by somebody and takes it hard or something. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe that's why he has like the shit kicked out of him at the beginning of that trailer. Maybe it's just some like SJW fucking feminist hitting him with like her purse or something. He can't fight back. A purse filled with kryptonium.
Molly Damon's gonna simp for Mr. Terrific. Very true, Jacob.
Red Jaguar for 5. Bella Ramsey looks like she's about to tell her friend not to come to school tomorrow. One of the many like screenshots. Yeah, Karen. I think I saw some Karen in some of those screenshots as well.
Oh yeah, she's gonna speak to the manager of that town.
Glitchman Omega for $2. What would Ellie do for a Klondike bar?
Good one.
Scissor me timbers. Winter Fire for $5. Even the Alexandrians weren't this lame when Rick wanted to go after Negan. Then again, Rick was the leader and not Maria. These people are spoiled. Well, this is democracy. This is democracy, not a dictatorship, right?
They don't even know how to run a democracy.
Yeah, right. Neil Druckmann can't have that in his show.
All right, let's hear from these random people on this list, and then we'll all vote without talking to each other.
Yeah, what was the deal with that? Like, how did they decide that? I don't know.
You just made the list.
Okay, yeah, their list.
No bigots on the list, Seth. You're not on there.
Yeah, that's why Seth wasn't allowed to speak. Yep, 100%. Red Jaguar for 2. Ellie's face looks like my thumb. Talking some trash on Bella Ramsey. A lot of that going on here. I'm surprised I'm surprised like Twitter isn't freaking out about that more. The show should be called The Walking Dykes. Maybe when they become zombies. I don't know. Well, Ellie can't.
Yeah. I think in the preview she's gonna get bit next episode. It looked like, and
really,
because Dina was pointing a gun at her. Yeah. So.
Then that's gonna get revealed. Great.
And I think that's how it happens in the game. Is they're in some like subway and she gets bit, and then she has to tell her how she's immune and everything, and prove it.
Yeah. Glitchman for $2. Night of the Punching in Bed. Good shit, you guys. Nice.
Dina's gonna be like,
Reddit is freaking out about it. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. There's probably some trolling though as well going on Reddit.
Dino will be like,
toxic.
Ellie, I packed all the essentials and one more thing. Bzzz.
Right? Oh yeah, that's the essential. That's the most essential there, 100%.
Did Seth put this in here? What?
Seth wouldn't put that in there. He's not gonna put temptation in there. Probably putting some sleeping pills or something in her food, so she'll just fall asleep immediately or some shit.
Seth put a bunch of Playboy magazine, or no, Playgirl magazines.
Gonna go to a sex shop. Oh yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that scene happens as well.
Oh god.
51 audience score on Rotten Tomatoes. Here's hoping it goes below 40 or below 50. I hope it goes below 50. I think
just
it will.
a bunch of Gamergate sexes.
Yep, that's another thing going on is that they're the review bombers are review bombing the show. I've been seeing that a little bit as well. All right, you guys, that was Last of Us Season 2, Episode 3, The Path.
The Path.
Yeah, pretty bad. I'd give this maybe, I don't know, maybe like a 2 or 3 out of 10. Honestly, I kind of stuck. Maybe I'll go 2.5 since I'm torn between the two. Nothing really of note that stood out to me. Wasn't like as offensively bad as like the first 2 episodes I felt, but like just cringe and boring, if you ask me.
Yeah, it was a lot of everything's so stretched out, and the game is already stretched out because the second game is way longer than the first, and I think they tell less story. Even with the whole second story that's retreading the first, the game is like 20 hours long. The first game's like 12 probably, and playing at a reasonable pace. And now they've just made it even worse by making the second game into 2 seasons.
Yeah, exactly. All right, you guys. Well, that's it for us. John, you got anything coming up on your channel people should know about? I'll drop the link. I think I forgot to drop your link last time. I'll do that right now.
Yeah, well, we'll see what trailers come out. I can always throw out a show reaction to one of those, but probably mainly I'm working on the next same thing I said last week, but making sure to get the new Star Wars EU, my 4th book, Agents of Chaos, Part 1, The Hero's Trial. I'm probably got a couple hours left in it, and then I can make a review for that, and then hopefully get out an AC Shadows, at least highlights / lowlights / review, because there's some good footage, but there's a lot of footage to sift through. So between a giant playthrough like that with Ubisoft bloat. So I just want to get all the romances in one video just so everybody can see the cringe.
Yeah, good Lord. Not looking forward to that. Anyway, what do I got coming up? So I just realized Thunderbolts, MCU, the Thunderbolts drops this Friday. So on top of our Andor breakdowns, which will be Thursday of this week, Star Wars Marvel Purist and I will be reviewing and breaking down Thunderbolts. We're going to try, I don't know, stay tuned on a date for that. I'm trying to go Friday, going to have to confirm with him, but we might be going live on Mr. Grizzly Live on Thursday and Friday. And I think we'll keep these Last of Us streams on Mondays now. It's a little better for me in my schedule, so I kind of like this time and everything. Works better for John going a little earlier, so that way we don't have to go at like midnight. Yeah, and have to rush everything. So keep an eye out for that. Got a video, got some videos on the main channel scheduled for this week as well. So make sure you're subscribed to the main channel of mine. Link to mine and John's channel are in the description. Shill watch-alongs Wednesday night on the main channel. Should have a good show planned for that. Be sure to check out the video I dropped today on the main channel on Eric Voss of the new Rock Stars, claiming that Disney Star Wars is back again. So, all right, you guys, thanks for tuning in. I'll see you guys when I see you. Oh, also, I just wanted to point this out real quick before we get out of here. The political channel is getting closer and closer to being up and running, making some major progress on it. Just want to drop it this one time. I will post the first video we do on the political channel, Jack Stallion, in the as a community post on both my channels, and then that's pretty much it. I'm not really going to advertise that channel very much, but just to get it off the ground. If you're interested in that and taking the trolling to the political spectrum, head over and subscribe to that channel as well. Got some funny shit in the works on that channel. you're looking for more of the brand, more of me, definitely go subscribe to that channel. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. See you guys when I see you. Have a great night. Thank you, John, and we will see you guys on the next one. Later.